for a league competition for 38 games, you need to be near perfect, especially with a league that has Man City there.
But obviously we're talking about the squad of players. We need the big squad because of competitions we're in. We finally make our return to the Champions League this season. You know what? It's kind of annoying me that Champions League is now 5 places.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a bit of a
all this struggle.
Back in the day when we were fighting for fourth, tooth and nail.
After all this struggle of trying to get back to the Champions League, they just open up another place like, we've got more space, come in.
Yeah, go on.
But yeah, we're back in it, and it's been a long wait, like 7 years, I think they say.
6. I like to say 6 seasons because it's a little bit better. But yeah, 6-7 years, whatever. It's all the same business, but yeah, long time.
It's ridiculous. It's very long. It's been very, very long. But yeah, we're back in the Champions League. And we got a relatively decent group.
Yeah.
We got a relatively decent group. What are the names in our group again?
Sevilla, Lens.
PSV and Lens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sevilla, PSV and Lens are in our group. We came out, I guess, second pot or whatever they call it. Like, we should finish first of that group, right?
Yeah, 100%. There's no 2 ways about it. We should. Like, you know, if I put the odds on, I'd say we're a good, strong 3-1. You know what I mean? Like, we should finish top. We're technically the first seed team. You know, like in terms of that. That's not to say we should take anything for granted. I feel like, I don't know if it was it Ray or was it you that was saying it, that these are the sort of games that we have where we switch off though. These are the sort of teams we would play where we switch off. We might actually perform better if we were in the group of death, like if we took Newcastle's position, for example, because we know to concentrate. But these games where it's like we turn up and we just feel like we're better than the opposition just tends to be our kryptonite. You know, I remember even in the Europa League, we went to, was it Rennes? And we lost there 3-1 and we had to overturn the deficit or something like that. It's the kind of game I can see us happening at Lens. You know, you go there, you can see an early goal and then the crowd get on and their home teams, they take them to a 2-0. You know what I mean? These things can happen. But on paper, we have more than enough to dispatch these teams home and away. But if we took a draw at PSV away, I'm not mad at it. You know, but all our home games should be wins. We should be going to Lens and winning. We should be going to PSV and winning really. Sevilla, they haven't won a game this season. They're in disarray. All their players are up for transfer. You know, yeah.
It's gonna sound crazy saying this, but at the same time, it's not that crazy. We should get full points from this group. Beating both of these the teams, all of the teams, home and away. Like really and truly, if we want to kind of and to be honest, I say make a statement. It's not even making a statement because these teams in our group really and truly are food. PSV, we lost to them in the Europa League last season away from home. They've lost all their stars since then. Yeah. Javi Simmons is gone. Gakpo is gone. One of the other players, he just came to someone in the Premiership. I can't remember. They've lost all their stars. They've lost all of their stars. All of them. So anyone that was causing us trouble doesn't even play for them no more. Like, and that game was still fairly close. They were just kind of hitting us with the counter attack a lot. With Gakpo's speed and that. And Gakpo didn't even do much against us that game. But you know, Sevilla, we should. They've got something about them when they want to, you know, turn it on. If Emery was managing them, they would probably beat us. But Emery's not there, so I'm cool with that. And Lens, I don't even know how they got to the Champions League, but you have to respect them because they're there. We should be. And you mentioned, you know, kind of what's expected of us. Don't shoot me down, but I think we may have a better chance at winning the Champions League than winning the Premier League.
Oh, I mean, I think that should be common knowledge. When you've got a good squad, I think it's a lot easier to get luckier and to kind of have the ability to get through a cup competition than a league game. For a league competition, for 38 games, you need to be near perfect, especially with a league that has Man City there. You know, we're here thinking, oh my gosh, the season's over because we drew to Fulham. Because how are we going to catch City now? We're praying for them to already lose. And
on day 3, we drew to Fulham and our lives crumble.
Head was gone because that's what City have done. That's how they're already in your mind. You're rattled. So, of course, if you go into Champions League now, look at the group we've got. We should be coming out first. You know, Sevilla, like I said, Sevilla can turn it on. PSV, decent at home. Lens, they finished second last season. I think they were a point behind PSG. But they've lost their top striker. I think he went to somewhere in Germany. And they lost the defender as well, the Fafana. He went to Saudi. But if we get a favourable, you know how sometimes it's on foot, like for someone, why Real Madrid finishing second in their group, you know, them kind of nonsense there. Like, but if everything falls into place, we can get a favourable second, kind of draw against a team, and then the quarterfinals is where things start. And then again, it's still luck of the draw, depending on how other teams do. Do other teams fall away? All of a sudden, it's not even to name teams, but if you found yourself against like a Porto in round of 16, then quarterfinal and RB Leipzig, then the semis, you're probably facing a big team at some point. But again, it's just the way it goes. But with the league game, you got to go away to all these dead grounds and you got to pick yourself up. I think we've got I say there's a better chance of winning the Champions League. I'm not saying we will win it, but me personally, I think I've said to ourselves, if we got to a quarterfinal in the first return, I'd be more than happy. But we obviously, it's not even a must. It's like, if we don't, it's a failure. We have to make it out of the group. That's at an absolute minimum. If we then, draw a dumb team or an unfortunate team, and the way the cookie crumbles, we move. But
my minimum expectation is to reach the semi-final.
Okay.
I honestly think that I'm looking at the landscape of European football, and it's not just because I know there's a lot of spending happening currently in the Premier League, but I just don't think it's that great, bro. I think there's 3 teams I fear. Like, if we're in a semi-final and the other 3 teams that make up the semi-final are Bayern, Real Madrid, and Man City, I can hold my hands up and say, you know what, boys, you have tried. So whatever happens from here, as long as it's not embarrassment, I can take. But I don't think anyone else is good enough. If we get PSG somewhere along the line, I'm expecting to beat them.
Yeah, 100%.
If we get Barcelona somewhere along the line, I'm expecting to beat them.
100%.
Like, I don't feel like these other so-called juggernauts are as good as us currently. And granted, I'm just talking about squad names on paper right now. Who knows what our team will look like? Might be depleted by the time we're playing these quarterfinals or whatever the case may be. But like, I'm from looking at the landscape, and I'm trying to be as objective as possible as a football fan, as an Arsenal fan. It's only Man City, Bayern, and Real Madrid that I feel like, right, these are the teams that could potentially, if we are at 60, 70, 80% on the day, these guys could do a number on us. Like, anyone else, I think is there for the taking. It won't be easy. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but we should be looking to beat. I do not fear Barcelona. I do not fear PSG. Like, and this is why I'm quite, and by the time you get to the semis, people are gassed. Like, anything can happen.
Yeah, this is it.
A poor Inter Milan side made the final last year. Inter Milan side, no bread, no money at all, bro. So much so they had to re-sign Alexis Sanchez for free. Like, I really think if we reach the semis and those are the other guys, obviously it might be 2 of those 3. If it's someone else and Arsenal get them, we might sneak into a final. Who knows? But like, that's if obviously we make it that far. But I really think, we, as they say, you got to take every game as it comes, each game at a time, all those cliches. But if you're looking at everything, team for team, our Arsenal are at least the 4th best team in this competition.
Bro, I don't think there's a lot of teams that would want to draw us at this moment in time. I don't think, if again, if there's like a round of 60 quarterfinal draw and you pull Arsenal, I think you're a bit like, it's a bit of a long day, because they've seen what we've been doing. Again, it's not to say it's a rollover or anything like that, but yeah, it's definitely something where you're like, okay, Arsenal are very good at this moment in time. The only thing I think that maybe won't go in our way is potentially just the European experience that these players have. And Arteta's European experience hasn't been great as an Arsenal manager. I've heard people say about our history, unfortunately, in the Champions League hasn't been great. We've kind of like made up the numbers, but none of those players are in our team anymore. These are some young, hungry players who are trying to make names for themselves. So I don't fear any of that. This is like a totally new Arsenal in the Champions League. But again, Arteta hasn't shown himself to be great in Europe, unfortunately, and we haven't got a lot of experience in Europe's top Premier competition. So that's the only thing that could potentially hold us down, because the way Champions League football is played is different. It's a bit slower. You have to find your tempo. Got to be a lot more solid defensively. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I don't think anybody's saying, you know what, even Real Madrid, even Man City, I don't think they want to draw us.
Yeah.
It's not a given. It's not like, I think we've got enough, even if they do.
Yeah, experience is a very, very good point. Obviously, I'm here giving the big one about, Champions League. Our Europa League and thing in the past few years have been horrific. Yeah. Definitely should have won that tournament once in the last 7 years or whatever that we've been in it. But yeah, just kind of facing our front as to see, what we've got coming next, with the players that we now have and this team kind of looking closer to its final form. I really think that, like you're saying, experience is definitely one thing that they don't have, these boys. But on the flip side of it, we're fearless. We have to be fearless, and it's like that same experience. We're not hit by any trauma. We haven't got remember Champions League last season when we got flogged or anything like that, like all the 10-2 in Bayern all those years ago. Like, these guys don't know about that, or it's not their concern. You see what I mean? So it's just like, we have to just go about and be the unknown. We haven't been in this competition for 7 years. We are the unknown. As good as we are, and as good as everyone is watching us right now and not wanting to draw us, we're the unknown team. And I say all of this, we'll get to the bloody second knockout round and lose 3-1 to Leipzig or something like that.
God forbid.
But I honestly think, I'm not even bantering, I honestly think, we're probably on paper, I'll say on paper to caveat it, we are like the 4th best team in this competition, and all it takes is a good draw and Arsenal could win the Champions League. And I'm being dead serious.
And that's literally it. Like, you don't control the draws. People be like, you got an easy draw all the way to the final. Although I'm not hearing, like, the Man City one, though. They drew Leipzig for like the 100th time. Their group, mate, they shouldn't even play. Like, all the other teams should just say, look, we'll let you finish first. We'll just scrap for second and third. And then we'll just see what happens. Because their group, I can't remember the last time they got a competitive group. Not to disrespect the other teams in there, but let's just be real. But anyway, for us, if we got good draws, again, we still got to go out and play. We still have to win the game. It's just that, similar to our group now, it'll be different now if we got that AC, PSG, Borussia Dortmund group, where we'd be thinking, they've got the European experience per se, all this blah, blah, blah. But we've got a favourable group. Let's take these advantages we've been given, use them, use our squads, and get through to the knockout stages and just see where the chips lay.